Okay, folks, it looks like we are now live for the first episode of Pixel Art Live in a few months. And this isn't really an episode of Pixel Art Live as much as it is just me kind of goofing around. I have a new setup today, so hopefully my audio sounds much better than it has in the past. Anyways, yeah, so today we're going to be working on, as the thumbnail and title of this video suggested, my Wizards print. Now, if you're not familiar with what Wizards is, the movie, it is a movie. It's an animated movie by Ralph Bakshi. Now, Ralph Bakshi, if you don't know who Ralph Bakshi is, you need to become an adult because because Ralph Bakshi is I don't want to say he's an adult filmmaker. That sounds a lot worse than what he is. He's a lot smarter than that. But he did make the very first X-rated animated feature, and that was called Fritz the Cat. And I today, by today's standards, Fritz the Cat would probably get an R rating, but back when it came out, it was definitely an X-rated movie. And for the next several films that he made after that, they were adult-oriented animated films. If you've ever seen the movie Coonskin, he did that one as well. But anyways, in the late 1970s, mid 1970s, he wanted to try proving that he could do a family-friendly animation, and that's where Wizards comes in. And now, family-friendly is a relative term for Ralph Bakshi. It's family-friendly relative to Fritz the Cat. And it did actually get a PG rating from the MPAA in 1977 when the movie came out. It was it's a movie that would probably get an R rating today, but it got a PG rating back then. There was no human nudity. There were some sculptures of boobs in the thing, but other than that, though, there was no actual nudity in it, which is, for Ralph Bakshi, incredibly tame. So, anyways, the idea of the story is that there are two wizards: a good wizard, which is Avatar, which is the guy you see in green here on the screen, which you would see if I could put that next to me. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So that is Avatar right here. He is the good wizard. His brother is the bad wizard, and I don't have him in the print, but yeah. So he's the bad wizard, and they had a duel 3,000 years ago after their mother died, and Avatar banished him to the radiated wastelands of their fantasy world. And anyways, he's become essentially the Hitler of a bunch of mutants. And the idea is that Black Wolf is his brother's name, and Black Wolf finds old Nazi propaganda and War Machine stuff in the wastes, and they dig it up in an archaeological dig, and they start using it to start taking over this fairyland. And he is quite literally a Hitler type figure, and so he sends assassins out to assassinate the different leaders of the other countries. And Necron 99, who is the guy in red back here, is sent to assassinate the president of Montagar, which Avatar is the wizard of. And Peace kills him, and Avatar then stops Necron 99, and he becomes Avatar brainwashes him and turns him into a good guy. He is a robot, so that's why he has the thing sticking out of the top of his head there, and why he has the yellow eyes. This guy over here is Weehawk. He is a elf berserker, I think is the term for him in fantasy lingo. And this is Eleanor, who we're going to be working on today. And Eleanor is the fairy princess of Montagar. She was the president's daughter, and Avatar has been leading her training up until this point to make her a full-fledged fairy. Anyways, if you want a more detailed synopsis of the story, you should go to Brandon Tenold. Brandon Tenold does a YouTube series called Cult Movie Reviews, and this was one of the movies that he had done. So just type in Brandon Tenold and Cult Movie Reviews. I think there's a link in the description below. And yeah, so check that out at some point when I'm just drawing here and not really talking, because I promise you it's well worth a watch and you're going to get a kick out of it. It's a fantastic story. And also in the description below, I have a link on Amazon to where you can buy this movie, and it's an affiliate link. So if you buy the movie through there, a small kickback of that comes back to myself, and that helps support my artwork too. So if you want to see this movie, I highly recommend watching the entire thing, even after you do watch Brandon's video. Come back to Amazon, get the movie, and buy it and watch it. You can get it for free in different places, but I buy the movie because this movie needs to be supported. It was tons of fun to watch. It's not a Disney caliber animation. It's something else to keep in mind when you're seeing it. They were working on an extreme budget while they were doing this, and I'm going to go ahead and make the transition now so I can begin drawing. There we go. Look at that. Know what I'm doing. All right. So, anyways, yeah, that is the general basis of the idea of the movie. Now, yeah, the animation was done. I don't want to say it was on the cheap, but I think it was done on the cheap. But the animators were very clever in how they did things. Ralph Bakshi is known for doing a lot of rotoscope work, and that's a way to save money for him. I don't know why I'm drawing his hand. I'm going to be working in Illinois right now. But yeah, he does rotoscope to save money when he's doing his videos from time to time, and his movies from time to time, and he uses it in a very cool way, and it's very, I don't want to say psychedelic, but it is almost kind of psychedelic the way that he does it. Adding to the awesome effects of this film, Ian Miller was an artist who I'd never heard of before I started doing research. Actually, I think for this print, I've been wanting to do this print for a long time now. I've only now just gotten around to it. And Ian Miller he's an artist, and he did the background work for Wizards. And if you don't know who he is, look him up too. It's Ian Miller. IAN Miller. It's exactly how you think. Might have to type in art after his name or something like that, but you can see his artwork in there, and it is phenomenal art that he does. And yeah, it was something that I've always loved that style of art, and he has mastered the style of art as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I'm debating how I'm going to do the background for this print, actually, because I want to do something that would honor his contribution to this movie through the backgrounds, but at the same time, if you look at the backgrounds, you'll see like it's not a style that can be easily replicated. It is, if you're going to do that style, I mean, you're going to spend, as far as I can tell, you're going to spend years working on it, and I'm not going to spend years working on something like that. So yeah, I have to figure out how exactly I'm going to pay homage to Ian Miller here. With that background, but that's a story for another time. I'm working on Eleanor right now and her leg. Another thing I wanted to mention too is that this print is a little bit unique. Usually I don't use many references or exact references for my drawings, and in this case I did, because I created a 3D model of the characters in Blender, and I have that open right here. That's the Eleanor part of that. So anyways, yeah, this is I did this because YouTube and stuff, you don't actually, you see the shape there, you don't see the coloration, and I don't want to risk anything with YouTube, but they don't have genitals or anything like that, so I didn't bother blacking that out, and I just don't want to deal with YouTube's stuff, so I blacked those out. Anyways, yeah, that's the 3D model that I created in Blender. And it's just kind of like a basic thing. I wanted to make sure I'm getting the lighting right for this print, and that's kind of why I did this. This animation, the film did not use any they didn't use any shading in the animation. It was very 2D. They were, you can tell they were on a budget, and that's fine. But they managed to tell a really cool story like that. Let me pull up a picture really quick of the Wizard's characters so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna pull this up because I don't know what's gonna come up in the image searches, and I don't want anything bad to come up. And given the type of movies that Bakshi has done, there are some fan art things that are not safe for YouTube and live stream. So I'm just kind of being careful here. And let's see, where's a good? Okay, here we go. That's stupid thing. Okay. So this is the style of art that I'm kind of doing homage to here. I'll put this side by side so you can see them side by side. And yeah, this is yeah, these are the characters obviously. And so I've taken them to another level of detail and stuff, which if you know me and how I like to do pixel art and pay homage to things, that's kind of what I do. So anyways, yeah, that's that. I just realized there was a bit of a slip here in this course. So anyways, no coloration thing, so that didn't take long. I'm 10 minutes into the video and already I'm going to get YouTube banned. So much for my 3-hour show plan. Thankfully, nobody watches these things. So, oh my god, did I really stop? I think there's a chance they actually did stop the video there. All right. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and keep on drawing here. The countdown is still going, so I'm guessing it is still live. Okay, I am still live. I am still live. That's good. That's good. Anyways, yeah, I was going to pull up my. This is what I've been doing to kind of work on the lighting stuff here. Is pulling the images up side by side and. And this is my first time using. Actually, this is my first time using Blender as well for this. I never use actually. I've never used Blender at all before I did this, and so I mean, considering this is the output, and I've never used Blender before, that turned out pretty well. I do actually have a little bit of background in 3D Studio Max, and trying to learn Blender from knowing 3D Studio Max back in the day, that was unpleasant. Let's just put it that way. But I did eventually get it figured out, so. But yeah, if and Blender, if you're not familiar with it, is free software. Anybody can download it. Anybody can create 3D models with it. I would almost, as I was using it, I found myself a lot of times thinking in terms of 3D Studio Max, and uh, I almost feel like knowing or having learned 3D Studio Max, I was at a disadvantage with the software. What the hell, using like. Yeah, I almost felt like I was at a disadvantage with 3D Studio Max experience because although I have the basics of 3D design down, I am, you're stuck in certain habits with the software, and I was definitely stuck in certain habits with that software. This is that part of. Okay, so I'm at the lower part of the calf here. All right. So yeah, this is my first time, doing something as a reference like this and creating my own reference, which is it's nice to be able to do it that way. It really is because the thing that's holding me up for the longest time with this is because I was looking for a good reference image and I just really couldn't find one that I liked. And I eventually the idea came to me, like, I used to do 3D modeling all the freaking time. Like, why don't I just get back into that and try making my own reference? I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, because I'm not going to use the word. I'm not selling or showing off the 3D model. I'm going to be selling the pixel art that comes from it. So yeah, why not? Why not just? Sorry, I'm drawing here, and it's hard for me to draw and talk at the same time. But Yeah, why not just, make a rudimentary 3D model, put some, lighting in there so you get some dynamic lighting, which is something that I feel like is usually lacking in my artwork. Generally speaking, when I'm drawing something in pixel art, whether it's for the comic or anything else, I usually only have one light source, and maybe like if there's like for the cattle prod things that my characters use as weapons, occasionally I'll add another light source for those in my drawings, just because of how intense that can be, and I try to highlighting things that way to kind of create drama and stuff. But drawing three or more light sources for me has always been like I don't have time to figure that stuff out. And anyways, creating your own 3D model, it gives you a lot of control over where those light sources are that you're doing. So. And as always, if you want to leave a message in chat, feel free to do so. I have no intention of talking all 3 hours tonight. I do plan on going for about 3 hours tonight. So from 7 to 10 Central Time. And you can do the math as to what time that is wherever you are if you're not in the Central Time Zone. Yeah, feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear questions. I have my wife, Krista, moderating this chat. Ooh, do I have her moderating this chat? Do I make her moderate this chat? I don't know. Okay. Unable to chat. Please try again. I'm going to try typing a... Yeah, so feel free to use the chat to communicate with me as I draw. I love... I don't say I love the distraction. That sounds... sarcastic, almost. I love hearing from y'all. There we go. Okay, so it looks like chat is working. And I'm relying on my wife to tell me if there's a problem in the chat. Is there a problem in the chat? What? I only see my own comments. Are there more? There are. Okay, so there are more comments that I have not seen. Okay, that's encouraging. Why? Oh, that's only top chat I'm seeing. Live chat. There we go. Okay. Okay. Hey, Dan, how's it going? Sorry about that. I had top chat on, not live chat. So I wasn't seeing everybody's the comments that were coming in. So, okay, yeah, I have it now set up so that I'm seeing the live chat instead of top chat. I got it. I can see chat now. I did, yes. Oh, my dog just came in. Hey, Pup, you want to come in and say hi? Come on. Come on. No? Want to be here and annoy me? That's cool. Good boy. And my dog can be camera shy sometimes, although when he does show up in the videos tend to do better, so. Yeah, I have a new microphone today. That's what Krista means by the audio sounds amazing, because the audio used to not sound amazing at all. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the 3D model stuff. So, yeah, this is my first 3D model outside of work. So I used to do 3D modeling in MicroStation and AutoCAD for an engineering company that does power plant design. This is my first personal 3D model for my own use. I think since 2005, actually. Yeah, I think I stopped doing 3D models around the time I started drawing the MS Paint comic as the webcomic. I had a cough there, and I pressed the key to mute my cough, and I don't know if that worked or not. Does that work? Find out. I don't think that worked. Oh, so much for smart keys and hotkeys and stuff. Oh well. Sorry about that, folks. You have water here. That's the next best. Actually, water is probably more important than hotkeys in the long term scheme of things. Yeah, the idea is that I'm trying to improve. You guys may remember on New Year's Eve / New Year's Day, I was working on a drawing on pixel art. Okay, folks, I think we're back at the moment. I apologize for that. My computer completely crashed out on me. I got an error about some USB 80236 thing, and I got the Windows 10 version of a blue screen of death, which I have never gotten before. Things were then complicated by the fact that I haven't updated my computer in the past, I don't know, 6 months, and then every single update in the world started coming onto it, so that happened. I'm just trying to get my YouTube stuff all situated here so I can get everything up and running. I just didn't want to leave you guys hanging. Need to get my print open as well. Ah, what a pain in the butt. I'm a little bit concerned that it was my microphone that crapped out on me. It's the new piece of technology here, but I am also using Droid Cam, which is a app that lets me use my cell phone as a webcam, which in theory should work fine, but that might also be the issue here. Although it said it was a USB error, which I'm thinking it was probably the microphone that caused it, if there was something that caused it. Find out. All right, print set. Where are my prints at? I guess. And we'll get this up and running here in just a moment. Looks like I am streaming again, which is good. I still don't have my YouTube comments, but they will be back online here shortly. I know I lost all the work that I had done. Oh, I'm sure I'd saved before I started work. Yeah, it looks like we're good here. So I lost the shading I'd done in the leg. So we're 37 minutes in and I have done exactly nothing according to Windows. That's fantastic. All right, then let's get Firefox open here so I can see YouTube comments coming in, and my wife's sitting next to me, but then I'll have the webcam in here right now. So I took that off in case the webcam was actually becoming a problem. Of course, my internet is dragging because I'm streaming right now. Krista's watching the stream on her device to make sure everything's working well. So while that does its thing, I'm going to go ahead and begin drawing here. Exactly what I was doing before. Now, one thing I had noticed was that, where did it go? Can't find my reference. I'm sure when you .net, because Paint.net is a good program. Side open. It'll probably happen in a year from now, so I'll just start still. At there. Next color. Remember that this was a kind of a sharp transition here to the light from light to dark. Recent. Go. And of course, there's no. Hold on, I didn't have the black boxes on here. Ah. So we're getting closer to the 4th of July, and people are already shooting off fireworks, which means that my dog is going to be barking the rest of the episode. I apologize for that. Hopefully it's not too annoying for you, but, you know, people are being jerks, and they want to fire off fireworks on June 14th. Okay, we are censored again. I am saving this so that I have this. Go. All right. Censored yet again. And one of the things I had done was I created another. Oh, but I lost it because I didn't save and then the computer crashed. So, okay. I had created another 3D model of just Eleanor without the other characters there because I have adjusted Avatar a bit from the 3D model to make him a little bit shorter and stouter, and yeah, so I thought I had him pretty good, and then I started drawing him and I realized he was just a little bit too tall, and yeah, so I adjusted the 3D model of him, which kind of then changed some of the other things on Eleanor, what it could be seen and what could not be seen as far as the shadowing goes. Thankfully that happened early and had saved before I started doing this live stream. So it could have been a whole heck of a lot worse, but just in case, file save. All right. On the bright side, when I download this video later... Oh, am I recording right now? Hold on a second. Okay, I am now recording this as well. So, I am streaming. I'm not recording right now. And the reason that's important is because I am taking this video and I'm making it into... Well, this entire process I'm actually recording for a time-lapse video, which I'll be putting together probably, hopefully, in the next week or two. I think next week's Friday video is going to be me unboxing this Mauno microphone, and I think the video, and that's going to be the week of our next comic convention, which is H3X Heroes Helping Heroes. So H to the third H3X. What that is essentially is it's a typical comic convention, except for the fact that the proceeds that the organizers are getting from this are all going back into the community to help local veterans, and also the Northwest Indiana Burn Camp for Kids, which is a really cool organization, and they obviously, as the name implies, help kids who are victims of really bad burnings, and help them, rehabilitate and recover and everything else. Button there. Would you do me a favor? Buried. Do you mind telling me if when
it
doesn't censor or block it?
No.
All right, that's too bad. I don't know why they say you can enter in your own hotkeys, let you put in the hotkeys, and then the hotkeys. Pop open a Yoo-hoo here and get my energy level up. Scratch out of my throat, hopefully, too. Oh, I just realized I still don't have my YouTube stuff up yet. I want to be able to see your comments. Krista's keeping an eye on comments, but it helps, too, to be able to read the comments because Krista doesn't know. being my wife, Krista's words tend to go in one ear and out the other, and it, I can't control that, so it's a spousal filter, yeah. Excuse me, sorry. Manage moderators. Hold on 1 second. I am setting up moderators, so. Okay, yeah, I'll do this later. Sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to. I want to try to get this all set up so Krista can do stuff for me while I'm um, trying to moderate comments and everything else. And I am somewhat new to this whole thing, so yeah, give me just 1 second here while I try to figure all this stuff out. And, okay, I think she has to be actual YouTube channel owner to moderate chats. So okay, so I don't have any. I don't have any moderators for the chat, so that means it's entirely on me to know what I'm doing, which is which is really bad. Okay, I'm just going to allow all comments. Then, if somebody messes things up, then I will have to block them. So don't mess things up. Good person. Okay, there we go. And is our YouTube? Darn it! No, it's different for me as the edit video, I think. Yeah, to go into YouTube Studio. Oh, that's why, because you have to have a YouTube Studio account to get in to moderate the chat. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. Okay, whatever. Anyways, I'm going to go back to the chat and keep an eye on things. Okay. Pop out chat option. What I want to see. I have a lot of other option things that I should be able to see in here to kind of make sure it's going well, and I'm just trying to get that back right now because I didn't get in the way I normally. I am going to continue drawing though while that does its thing. Doesn't look like the next. What's this? And as always, if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns about what I'm doing, if you have any good ideas for how I can make this run better, please by all means let me know in the chat because we are keeping a eye on that. So. Don't worry, I also have questions about what I'm doing. And there we go. I finally got into the control room. Okay, cool beans. That's where I wanted to get. And so again, for those of you who are tuning in now, I've been doing this for about an hour now with about a 20-minute computer crash in between there. But this is the Wizards print that I am working on. It will hopefully be ready, probably not for our next show, because I like to have things. I don't know. I might bring a few copies of this. Hard to say. You know, one of the things when doing a print like this is that you never know how well it's going to sell, because this is a cult film, and aren't a ton of people who really know about it. And part of the reason for that is because this movie came out in 1977, and it actually made even though the animation quality was kind of meh, it actually was making a really good debut in the box office. It had a $2 million budget, and they made back $9 million. And then after they had made $9 million, they were still doing well in theaters. But then Star Wars came out, and as you can imagine, after Star Wars came out, there wasn't much point in having a movie in a theater that wasn't sci-fi Star Wars movie. So, because that's all anybody wanted to see was Star Wars when that came out in 1977, and so as a result, this movie kind of got forgotten, and took a petition by fans, myself included, on to get Fox to make this into a DVD, which is then how I then got to see it for the second time ever. Because the first time I saw it, actually on Cinemax back in 1999. And I remember I was watching it, and back in 1999, for those of you who are young, you didn't have, like with Comcast today, where you just like go searching up and down the channels. You had to go. They had what they called the preview channel. Some of you may remember the preview channel, and the preview channel was just a long scrolling list of what's on, and you had no control over how fast it went, or what channels it was showing. It was just a very, very long scroll. Like, it took like 10 minutes to scroll through the entire thing, maybe 5 or 10 minutes to scroll through the entire listings of everything that was on TV, because it wasn't just your channels that you had to scroll through. You had to scroll through all the channels you didn't have too, which included all the Spanish channels and everything else. And so yeah, that made that made it difficult to find out what you were watching on TV. If you're trying to, for me, I was watching this movie. I wanted to know what the movie was called. Every now and then I flip over to the preview channel, try to catch it, but I didn't want to miss much of this thing. So I try to time it right. So you get like this idea, I remember, of like, okay, it's going to repeat in about 5 minutes. And so you didn't really look at the clock, because it always varied a little bit. But you, so you kind of keep in mind, okay, so I want to see what's on channel 26, but at the same time, it's on channel 73 right now. So if I come back in like 3 minutes, it should be on channel 26. And I just kept on missing it. And every time I went in, it was like, it would be like channel 27. It would be showing what's on channel 27 through, it showed 3 channels at a time. And because, again, there wasn't high definition TV, so you can only show so much information on the screen. So they only showed 3 channels at a time, and it just scrolled up, and I kept on missing it. And eventually, by the time I finally did see it, just like today, if you see it in the last like half hour of the show, it shows you what's coming up next. And that I saw what was coming up next for this, and instead of this, and so I missed out on the name of the show. And so I tried going to the Cinemax website back in 1999, but of course they don't show what they had on TV back then, because that would be too intensive on your servers and everything else to show that kind of stuff. So I had no idea for the longest time what this movie was even called. And then finally in 2004, I saw the title of it, or I saw it when the petition was going out. Maybe it was 2000. It had been 2004. The petition was going on, and so I finally got the name of it. It just so happened that I was looking for the name of the movie, because I've been looking for it ever since the movie came out, and I just could not find it. And it didn't help that I could. So I had to type. I was searching for things like wizard green hat, and green wizard, blue wizard, and yes, I was searching for things like that. But it's a really weird story, and I couldn't even remember the names of the characters for this story. So it just made it really really hard. I remembered Peace. Peace is the robot. I remembered him because his name was Peace, and I remember like in the beginning of the film, he's like, "Peace want love, peace no hurt anyone." Something like I forgot how he said it, but it was like kind of like a stoner kind of voice. You know, here's this big assassin. Um, yeah, it's a very cool movie, and you know, the animation was not as good as I remembered it being, but the background art was, and yeah, it was incredibly impressive that they managed to pull off a movie like this on the budget that they had, and that's what Ralph Bakshi does, and that's why I have so much respect for him as a filmmaker. And you know, and one time he got a budget to make a movie, I think it was Cool World, and they as soon as I don't know like what happened with that, what the story is, but he essentially he lost creative control over that movie as he was making it, and you know, they finally gave him a budget to make something big, and they just said, oh, you know what, we probably shouldn't give you the kind of money that you're looking for here because you're gonna have nudity and everything else in it, and it's like, well, duh, it's Ralph freaking Bakshi. What did you expect him to do? So he lost creative control over the movie, and the movie kind of suffered because of that. I don't even know if he stayed on the movie the whole time. So I'm doing here, so you can kind of see the fade on this on the shading here, and this is a very tight area for it to go from complete shadow to light. And so I'm just trying to stay really close to these different layers to kind of create a gradient effect. Go ahead. There's nobody. You're the only one. Go ahead. The dog bed is one of those things that like it's more for like the dog parents than it is for the dog. Like he seems perfectly content just laying on the floor half the time. Yeah. That's why I want to have you as a moderator. We should get you a YouTube channel, not that you can post videos to, but just so you can moderate the chats and run this stuff up here and keep an eye on stuff. Yeah. You're thinking again. Nope. Bet you they do. Hmm. You know what I wouldn't mind you getting is that the Auschwitz volunteer book of Bertold Pileski. I don't have it on my list, I don't think, but I wouldn't mind because I've been. I don't think I did. The the Auschwitz volunteer. I have the book. I just I haven't been able to sit down and read it. I'm still in the middle of the Two Towers, and right behind you, the book, horizontal, and the shelf laying on top of the other books, between the papers. Ah, at least they found it. Yes. Right, because it's the Apple iOS, and they're competing with Amazon for stuff. So it's entirely Apple's. That's no, I don't actually. I heard them earlier. I haven't heard these lately. Yep. Okay. So next weekend, the weekend after this week. It's going to be about 2 hours, a little more than 2 hours each way. They'll get 4 hours out of the way that way. thing I'd like to do is do like few portraits of like war heroes that nobody's ever heard before. So when people like stop by and say, "Well, what's that one?" It'd be cool to tell them the story of this guy who volunteered to go into Auschwitz to report for the Polish resistance. Like stories that people would never otherwise hear. You get a chance to share them at the show. I should be more concerned about making money than act on people, but can't help it. Yeah, so really, I wanted to be done with this transition already at this point, and I'm still making it. But that's going to be typical for most of my artwork, I think, while I'm doing this, and that's okay because, again, the light's still coming from the right place. It's just a little bit different from where it ought to be. That's fine. Okay, and he has darker on the inside of the knee, kind of lit up here, and then it gets darker again. And replicate that. Okay? I think while I have no one watching, I think this is a good time to go ahead and embed this on my website so that there for people who stumble across that really quickly. Which one? Oh, that's weird. It's really weird. They have narrating it. Hmm. I imagine it'd be somebody famous if they're going to try doing that. Yeah, I never heard. Not. What's that about? Oh, okay. I think that was me. I just want to get the. Yeah. After you do that, would you mind? Actually, you know what? Before you do that, would you mind going to Facebook and after the summary? Yeah, would you mind going to Facebook and sharing a video on there? You do it from my laptop behind me. Okay, so there's transition. Yeah. I know those. I'm surprised I counted those of you. Uh, Aaron. Okay. Well, things were going pretty good before the crash, and things kind of got quiet after that. But that's my luck, though. Finally get something going, and then the computer decides to crash out on me. And always, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them in chat. I am keeping an eye on them. And then, more importantly, my wife Krista is watching the chat as well, so that if anybody does leave a comment, I will be able to know about it before 10 minutes, like I used to be on my old pixel art live shows. And I'm using a 3D model as a reference for this work. I created the 3D model on, actually, a few weeks ago in Blender. It's my first time using a 3D model or creating a 3D model for my own artistic purposes since 2005. And I'm using Blender here. I was actually trained to use, what's it called? 3D Studio Max from Autodesk. And yeah, it's unfortunately that software costs money, and I can't afford money. Not that kind of money. Let's put it that way. It's very expensive software. Well worth it, but it's just for somebody like me who's a solo artist, there's no way I'm going to make my money back buying a copy of that software. So I had to learn how to use Blender to make the 3D model. And I'll zoom out here so you can see that if you are so interested in 3D models, that's that right there. I censored the nipples on her just because they weren't colored in, but I was worried about the shape and being flagged by YouTube and stuff. So I have enough problems getting to people as it is. Last thing I need is to be flagged as an adult channel and be monetized before I'm monetized and all that other stuff. So yeah, trying to keep it family friendly here, just like Ralph Bakshi would. And that's again who the maker. Ralph Bakshi is the maker of Wizards. So you are not familiar with that, I think I have a link in the description below, taking you to both Amazon, where you can buy the movie, because it's a fun movie, it really is. But you can either go to Amazon and buy that there, or alternatively, you can go to Brandon Tenold's page. And I know I shouldn't be referring to other video channels in my video live stream, so people stop watching, but he actually has a 15-minute video on how Wizards is. He summarizes the movies. What's it called? He has cult movie reviews. That's what it is. So he'll go through the movie and he makes fun of it along the way, and it's a really fun episode. I really liked it. So he did a good job with that. So I don't mind giving a shout out to him for that. If you're looking for a synopsis, you don't want to sit down and watch a 2-hour cartoon from 1977. That's not a Disney classic by any means. Although what's interesting is that Eleanor, who is the female that I'm drawing right now, and again, I have not changed her outfit at all. That's what she wears the entire show. She's actually, because this was made by 21st Century Fox or 20th Century Fox, she is actually a Disney princess now, which is fantastic. So good for her. And this video is also live on ktracy.com if you want to go over there and take a look at the merch and stuff like that. Although I think you lose it after you click off the homepage, but if you want to see the merch and stuff like that, then you can go over there and you can buy my comic books and prints and other cool stuff. I have a Ghostbusters print actually that's been doing pretty well, and the Star Trek print always sells well. The last show we did was the so Krista, remember the last show we did? There's that woman there. I really hope she's not the one watching right now. But, she was looking at, oh, that's Star Wars, and you're like, yeah, it's Star Wars, and looking at the Admiral Akbar print. And then she sees a Star Trek print, and she's like, what's that one? She's struggling to remember like what Star Trek was called, and it's like, oh, it's for me it was shocking. Like, how does she not know what Star Trek is? And then what did she call it? Yeah, yeah, it was wrong though. Whatever it was just very wrong. Not very very wrong. That kind of very wrong, but she was just incorrect, very incorrect. And yeah, so that was shocking. I've never been someplace where people don't know what Star Trek is, and yeah, that was surprising. Star Conquest or something, maybe. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, she was wrong. It's not what it's called. Yeah, Chris is a bit much bigger Trekkie than I am. I appreciate the show, but she is actually, I would say, a full fledged Trekkie, and she has read Star Wars or Star Trek novels and stuff like that. So yeah. For my part, I was a bigger Star Wars fan, but that was more past tense. Now, seeing what Disney's doing with it, it just breaks my heart. So it's really sad too. I was excited when Disney took over Star Wars, because I was thinking like, oh, look what they did with the Marvel MCU, and that's what's coming to Star Wars now. And I was super excited about it, and then, um, yeah, I was underwhelmed by the Force Awakens. I just thought that was kind of too much of a rehash of A New Hope, and it wasn't original enough. And when Disney took it over, I remember when they took it over, I had heard someplace that George Lucas had come up with he had a story treatment for episodes 7, 8, and 9, and they, J.J. Abrams and all the people over at Disney listened to the story treatment, and they rejected it, and that was kind of the red flag for me of like, oh, what's going on here? Like, why would they do that? And apparently, it involved kids, and after what happened with young Anakin Skywalker in Episode 1, I suspect that might have been why Disney balked at it. But yeah, they decided to just treat it as something entirely different from that, and it's for me. For me, it's sad to see this, because like, and I'll go see. I saw The Last Jedi. I'll go see Rise of Skywalker, whatever that is. What am I doing? I need to concentrate. I'll go see that one, but I think I told Krista before, or maybe it was her brother, that for me, Star Wars is like, when I went to go see The Force Awakens, it was like, oh, my really good friend here has cancer. It's pretty bad. And when I went to go see The Last Jedi, it was like, oh, my really good friend has just died. And now this last movie, I'm going to go see it just because I feel like I should go to my friend's funeral. That's kind of why. That's kind of my. It's kind of my outlook and view on Star Wars right now. And yeah, it's I hate saying that too because I really do love the movies, but I love Star Wars, but this is just wrong. So I don't know, maybe you guys think differently. Leave a comment or chat or something like that, and tell me why I'm wrong. But and like part of me doesn't want to go see it because I know that if I go see it, I'm just giving more money to Disney to continue bastardizing the franchise and stuff. But at the same time, like I said, it's like for me, I feel like it's a funeral where I have to go to pay my last respects to for me what was an important franchise. But then again, I'm just a toxic white male, so what do I know? Didn't get political on here. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't take much for my viewers to suddenly cut in half right now. So yeah. Yeah, for me, like The Force Awakens was kind of like the red flag that something's wrong. And for me, what it was it had nothing to do with Ray or the new characters or anything like that. For me, the problem was at first it didn't feel original, and Harrison Ford actually was the problem for me. That not that he died, but that he was. How do I want to word this? He it felt like Indiana. Like he seemed like he was playing Indiana Jones, but they were calling him Han Solo, and that was kind of that was to me that something was wrong here, and they don't really understand the character that well, and I and when they killed him off, I was okay with that because and I know from being a huge Star Wars fan that when they were filming The Last Jedi, Harrison Ford told George Lucas, "Kill me off," and George Lucas told, "No, no, no, this is the last one. We don't have to do that." And so, Harrison Ford didn't want to play Han Solo anymore. And the fact that he even came back for this movie was nice, I thought. So I was okay with that. I don't like that they killed him off before you got to see you got to see Leia again, I guess. But I just I don't know. Like I don't I don't know. I don't like that him and Leia split up or whatever after or whenever that happened. I didn't like that. There's a lot of things I just didn't like about any of the characters really in their development. Besides maybe Leia. Leia I think she was written okay. I mean the whole like floating through space thing in The Last Jedi, that was stupid. But yeah, but as far as like her as a character goes, I think they did an okay job with her. But something just felt off about Han Solo in those movies. And the best way I can say it was I think when it happened, it was fairly early on, and it was when they were in the corridor of that ship that him and Chewie were in when they found Ray and Finn and the Millennium Falcon, and they're in those corridors, and there's that weird monster thing that they were transporting, rolling around and kind of coming after them, and there's a part in there where it was kind of like, oh, it's Indiana Jones in the what was that one? The Raiders of the Lost Ark at the very beginning of the movie, where he's like running down, he's being chased by the ball, and that's exactly what that felt like. And he looked like Indiana Jones, and that's just not right. So, what do you think of it? Just this the Force Awakens and Han Solo and how they portrayed him. I know you haven't probably seen it since we saw it in theaters, but and that's the other thing too. It's like when Star Wars came out, like it was like, it came out in theaters, and the very first thing you wanted to do after it came out in theaters was wait for it to come out on home video so you can bring it home and watch it at home. And we don't own any of those new movies at all. Like, the one I wouldn't mind owning is not the trilogy movie, but the Rogue One. That was a good movie. I enjoyed that one. Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty unhappy with them. All right, that's that. So those are my views on Star Wars. What I I still have all three of my viewers, so apparently I haven't pissed anybody off yet. So one for one so far. What other controversial franchises can we talk about? Is anybody watching The Orville? I haven't, I'm not watching it as often as I really should because I do want to. I think it's been renewed for season three. I'm not sure. It should have been renewed by now. I think it had something to do with Seth MacFarlane's contract or something like that. And I don't really follow Hollywood type news that often, so I really don't know what the status of any of that is. That I'm missing. It. Okay. Yeah, Chris and I watched the first episode of Star Trek, the first couple episodes of Star Trek Discovery, and we're very underwhelmed by it. And I think that's putting it nice. That's a good point. So I don't know if you can hear Chris or not because she's speaking very under her breath and quietly on off to my side. But yeah, she's complaining about CBS All Access and having to like go through a paywall to get it. And we're already paying for Netflix. We pay for Amazon Prime, not so much because we want to watch the shows on there, but because we want the free 2 day shipping for everything. So that's why we're members of Prime, not so much for their original series or anything like that. But so we're paying for two video services right now. Why on God's green earth would we pay? I don't know what is it, like $10 a month or something for CBS All Access. Why would we pay that much money for one show? And granted, this new Picard show is coming out, and that looks interesting. It's I don't like Alan Kurtzman and him being in charge of the franchise and stuff, but um, it has at least piqued my interest to see Picard coming back. That's one of those things too. It's like I mean, Patrick Stewart, God bless the man, but he's got to be like he's like what 85 years old now, 84 years old, something like that. When an actor gets that old, I mean, I don't want to be morbid or say anything bad here because I really do like Patrick Stewart, but at a certain point, like your days are numbered. It's like if he dropped dead tomorrow, would nobody would be surprised? Like, oh no, Patrick Stewart died. He was so young. Like, nobody would say that. He'd say, oh yeah, he's a great actor. He had a great career, and and it's but nobody would say he was too young or it was unexpected. Because I mean, at a certain point, you get to that age where it's like it is expected. That. And again, I'm sounding morbid here. I'm sorry. But it's just I think it is what it is, and if that were to happen, I don't want to be behind a paywall when that happens. And if it doesn't happen, I'd rather just watch the series in full in like one sitting, like I do on Netflix for everything else. Just sit down, watch episode one through episode whatever, and get it all done and out of the way, and say that I saw it. And the reason that I feel justified in doing that is because of Game of Thrones. Have you heard about that, Krista? Like all the outrage over the end of Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, people are like livid about the end of that show. We didn't watch it. Like, everybody was saying, "Oh, you need to watch it. It's awesome. You would love it because we're both kind of involved in politics and stuff." And yeah, you're gonna love this show. You don't know what you're missing. And my sister especially was one of the ones pushing us to watch the show. And I kept on telling her, "I'll watch it when it runs its course, when it's done." And but and she bought me the first season on DVD or Blu-ray even, and I still didn't watch it. And she was giving me such a hard time for such a long time that I needed to watch it. I needed to watch it, and it wasn't just her. It was a lot of people telling me that, and I just wanted to wait till it was all done, so I didn't have to wait a year between seasons. I hate doing that. I hate watching shows as they're coming out for just that reason. I want to sit down and enjoy it. I want to pick up on all the little Easter eggs because I'm not going to watch an episode twice anymore. I can't think of any show that I would watch an episode twice of before watching, like, unless I'm rewatching everything. I can't think, and even then, I don't really rewatch things. Like occasionally, there might be like an anime or something on Amazon or Netflix because there's nothing else on, I will watch that again. So like the new Ghost in the Shell ones that came out back in 2013. I think I watched those twice. That was like 5 years apart. But I'm not gonna rewatch a show unless I absolutely have to. That I missed something or something like that. I'd rather pick up on those Easter eggs and stuff because I'm watching it all in one sitting and not have to like worry about who is that guy again? What did he do? Why are they mad at each other? And for a show like that, I feel like that's pretty important. Because we did House of Cards, and House of Cards was like that too. I remember where um, it was very. There were a lot of things where we had to kind of stop and think back to like, oh wait a minute, who is this guy? Like, what was their story again? And who is that? And and that's not the way those shows should be watched. I feel like they should be watched in just one good sitting, or several short sittings, maybe I should say, closely packed together. All right, so it looks like that leg is. I'm not a big fan of that leg. So one of the things when you're doing gradients in paint is that you're going to have this effect right here, and this is how shading looked in like um pixel art for like the DOS games way back in like the Windows 3.1 era, like the first CD-ROM games. Even videos had this effect going on because they couldn't have more than 256 colors, and that's just kind of what happened when they try to compensate for that. And I've never been a huge fan of the way that looks. I might have to go back in here and kind of adjust the leg a little bit and some of this. But then again, the other thing too is that when this prints, it's not going to look like this. It's going to be a little bit more even toned than what I'm seeing right here. So I don't know. We'll see how this looks later on. Okay, let's I think we're going to go up to the arm now and kind of work down the back and then work our way from the right to the left. Also, her eyes are kind of creeping me out here. I'm going to get rid of the eyes, and we're going to okay, hold on. Do some movie magic here in her eyes, and okay, get rid of all this extra color stuff. We're going to do the eyes right now because looking at that was kind of weird. To do this, I am just going to do what I typically do for backgrounds. I'm going to use her inside. I'm going to make the inside of her eyes like the background. I'm just going to draw the circles for the eyes and then move the eyes where they need to go. Simple as I can make. All right. Close enough. We're cleaned up here. Okay, so her eyes, as I recall, I think had like a black line around them and a white, or a, yeah, black line and blue inside, and no pupils or anything like that. And I'm typing it in Google right now just to pull up a reference image of her face, and I'm doing that off screen right now because there are some rather vulgar images when you type her name in, just because of who Ralph Bakshi is and the type of people he tends to attract, which I just realized I'm now attracting to my booth at these comic conventions, which is disgusting. Ah, this is a mistake. I should never have done this. I am already regretting it now. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this one will. All right, so we're going to use this one as the reference. Okay, Eleanor, we'll put her off to the side. Zoom in a bit, and yeah, so she has a black line around her eye pupil thing, but no black pupil iris. She has a black line around her iris. That's what I'm trying. Okay. Trying to get like a good size here, and see if I can a little bit bigger than that. We're at 16 by 16. I think that's a good size. Okay, and we'll get a color in there. Actually, pretty close. I think it's a little bit lighter than that. A little bit too light. I'm just kind of eyeballing this eye color. I think that's pretty good. Okay. We're going to take this eye. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we're going to take both these eyes. Well, that looks freaking. Okay. So we have that as the background color, and we're going to move this as a different selection. It's kind of hard to do without. Yeah, I don't like. I need to do this over here, unfortunately. Move this 16 by 16 iris thing here. And I want her looking at you, as in you, the viewer of the. We're going to adjust this in the. That should be. That's better. Okay. Now I can go over here, grab the eyeball. I paste them back where they were. Okay, that's better. Well, let's zoom out. Okay, that looks good. Now I think, I mean, Elf Berserker over here has some shading on the yellows of his eyes, and I like the way that looks. I think we're going to do that over here as well. This is probably, that's okay. And that might be a little bit too dark, but I actually think I like it. It's kind of a weird balancing act because I want to be truthful to who the characters are. I don't want to just draw like humans with like, and her with no pupils, blue irises, and purple. What's that called? The eyeshadow that goes up here, or eyeshadow? Okay, yeah, purple eyeshadow. I don't want to just do that. I feel like I want to draw them, so that means keeping their their faces and everything else the same, even though their faces were drawn differently throughout the video or the movie because again they were on a tight budget. But is that really the color I'm using? Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, I was thinking that was purple. It's actually a straight up blue. Huh. That's interesting. I move that over to the purple range just a tad. Does this look like purple to you? This is blue. This is straight blue. This is like a straight hue of blue right here. It looks purple to me. This is purple right here, right? Periwinkle?
Yeah.
What's periwinkle? Is that like a?
Light.
What about her eyes? What do they look like? They're purple. Okay. Lavender. Okay. What? Syria? What's that? Okay. Would you say these colors are about right now? Okay. Okay. Okay, so I have the wife's approval on makeup colors here, so that's a good thing. Yeah, I don't know who's watching this right now, but if you are watching and you have anything to say about makeup colors here, please by all means let me know because I have zero confidence in this. I could just steal the color off of this. I suppose. So I have to do a print screen and what was that? Yeah. You never put on eyeshadow though, have you? If you're in makeup, like a foundation on it. Okay. Oh, that's fine. You can swear now. You can't swear in the first like 10 minutes of a video, but you can swear after that. But you should stop swearing. Don't drop the F-bomb. What the hell? Okay, so this is the eye. Okay, we're pretty close here, I think. Go ahead and looks like a pretty solid color, like right in here. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I think we're pretty good. It's more dull there, but again, it's pixelated and JPEG'd out over here. So I think this is actually a pretty good color for this. And we're going to use this color then as a basis. All right, so save it. All right, so we have that. I'm going to go back to my control room, and okay, that's good. So now we're going to add some shading to this to make it fit in with the rest of the shape of her shading on her head. Might end up going a little bit darker than this. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go a little bit darker than that because I want to get a couple more shades of purple in. Might be too. Might work. Let's see. All right, I think that'll work okay. Lighten this up with the next layer. What should we be talking about? What's going on in the news? I don't think everybody that would watch this video is from North Carolina. What about? That's pretty cool, actually. First, to speak up into the microphone so they can hear you. Tell us that story. Apparently, there was a big accident with involving cocoa powder and pull chemicals and lithium batteries. But an awesome accident. The guy who didn't drive by before the cops came to shut down traffic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure you. I'm sure at some point you turn around and you go to the previous exit. If anybody has anything they want to talk about, by all means, leave a comment in the chat so we can talk about that instead. Iran got caught bombing some tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. In an interesting dilemma here where I actually really like the way the shading looks. I don't want to give her pupils or put too much detail in the eyes, so I want to have like the highlight thing that goes over the eyes here because that would not be true to how the characters are drawn. But I'm going to go ahead and do something more with her iris here and give her a blue outline to that, and then see how that looks. That should come a little bit more, much better. Okay. Give her another shade of this. Flag Day today. What is the origin of Flag Day? Like, why do we have Flag Day? I say it sounds like a home day. The flag was for 77. I didn't know they had that figured out in 77. I thought that was, what year was it? Wow. I thought that happened like, After the revolution. I thought they were still like debating in 77 about what the flag should be. Although it makes sense because you're a new country and you want to try to prove you're a new country by having a flag, so I guess that makes sense. I'm not a fan of the upper thigh here. I'm going to have to come back to that. I'll look at that later. Teddy Roosevelt. Oh, 16. That would have been Woodrow Wilson? Okay. Good job. But you're setting me up for like a Teddy Roosevelt question. I was like, wait a minute. No, 16. No. That doesn't make sense. This isn't like a federal like day off holiday, is it? Not... You're welcome. Isn't that? Okay. I was gonna say, like, I remember getting like a lot of stupid days off when I was working for the government, but I don't remember Flag Day being one of them. Well, we don't. Our flag. And we have a flag. We just don't have like a place to hang it right now. It broke a few years ago in a bad windstorm, and we haven't. We're not intentionally being unpatriotic here. We're trying to make a statement or anything like that. Old Glory. I do not. That's why I don't know, because I never heard of the guy before. Yeah. Glory. Oh, that makes sense because of all the times we've had the number of states increase. That's not terribly. That's not surprising either. That's so many. Those numbers again? Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought you said 13, but I'm pretty sure Apollo 13 did not go to the moon. I always thought it sucked for those guys. I had it suck for those guys. Be like so close. Being able to say you're on. I mean, I'm sure they were happy to get home and see their families and stuff again. But any of them even make it to the moon eventually, or I just thought it would suck too to be the guy who had to stay in the ship, like orbiting the moon, while the two guys were on the moon doing their thing. It's like they're going to be the ones remembered as the guys who first stepped on, or guys who stepped on the moon. They're going to be remembered as their bus driver. Kind of sucky, I think. Again, I'm sure they're happy just to be a part of it, but and it's like one hell of a glorious bus driver type job too. But there's more fireworks going off right now. So if you hear my dog barking in a few minutes, that is why. Don't be. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm good. Thank you. Hmm. I don't know. Go to Judge Report and look up the headlines going on. Do you use them at all, or him at all, or no? Then I first stop in the every morning just to make sure we're not at war with anybody yet. Start drawing or doing something else.
There's
Yeah. No, it's he definitely leans more right, but he kind of leans. I want to say he leans crazy right because he like before Alex Jones and the Infowars and stuff got banned, he was using them a lot as a source, and I hated that. Like you see a headline, it's like, oh, that's interesting. You click on it, it's Infowars, and it's like, oh, this is stupid. And I stopped going to Drudge for a while until he stopped doing that, and then what happened?
very next.
So he's just having fun with it then. A judge said that he was an attack. Oh, no, who said that he was an attack site? Oh, Ted Cruz. Okay. Yeah, during that whole thing we went through with like being friendly with Infowars, I lost a lot of respect for him during that, and I still haven't gotten it all back because I don't respect that kind of. I don't know, I call it. I don't, it's not journalism, whatever the hell it is, but it's why I don't. It's like why people stop watching the History Channel because aliens. Like no, the word aliens should never appear on the History Channel. Period. Neither should the word Bigfoot. Those two words should not belong on the History Channel. You lose all of your credibility when you do that, and for what? Like how many people tuned in to watch Bigfoot hunters or like ancient aliens? I mean, like I get it. Like you didn't want to be the Hitler channel anymore, because that's what people called the H and on there was was for Hitler because all you ever had was World War II documentaries, especially about the European War. But you know what though? Like if I liked them too. That was fun. I would sit down. If it was a weekend, I had nothing going on. It was raining outside or whatever, and I didn't want to play my N64. I would sit down and I'd watch those old World War II documentaries, and yeah, I might fall asleep to them, but you know what? I watched them, darn it, and like, you don't see those on the History Channel anymore. Like you look on there now, and it's like all these reality TV shows, and it's like MTV. Remember when MTV used to be about music? Remember when History Channel used to be about history? So there were some explosions on some oil tankers near the Strait of Hormuz, which is all of this oil that comes out of like Kuwait and Iraq and places like that goes into the not the Red Sea. What sea is that? Oh come on! Why am I blanking out on that? Hold on. You know, go nap in the middle. Now Strait of Hormuz, but I can't think of the stupid. Yeah, I type in map of the Middle East and I get Middle East restaurant and nightclub in Cambridge, Massachusetts. That's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. Ah, maps. We'll pull that up down here. So see what I'm doing. There shouldn't be anything grotesque on Google Maps. Persian Gulf. Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So this is the Strait of Hormuz right here, going into the Gulf of Oman. And so the ships were attacked near this area over here. And what happened was that the Iranian National Guard or Republican Guard put magnetic mines on the ship on ships' hulls, and they exploded. And one of them did not explode; it must have failed or something like that. So these guys came out on speedboats and took the failed mine off because they knew that if the United States had gotten that mine, they would have been able to very definitively trace that back to Iran. So they had to go back and take that mine off, and they did that before U.S. rescue force, American forces could come rescue the people on the ship. So, anyways, yeah, that's what happened. So, bring Iran to calm the crap down, and it just so happened that one of those ships that was attacked was carrying Japanese goods going to the Far East, and so the Iranians are now saying that it's too much of a coincidence. It's a black flag operation, Alex Jones type shit, and Trump administration saying, yeah, that's bullshit, and no, it's not. Yeah, a black flag operation being when you attack your own people and then blame it on somebody else, like the 9/11 conspiracy theorists always say. That's why I said it was Alex Jones type. So yeah, I have zero patience or tolerance for Alex Jones crap over here. Uh-oh, we have a problem, it appears. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain its smooth streaming. As such, viewers will more info experience. Everything appears okay over there, right? Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not too worried about a smooth experience here for you guys because I'm just moving a mouse around on a screen. Don't mind me. I'm going to test to make sure we have audio really quick. Yeah, we do. Okay, just making sure. I just had to hit a button over here, and you couldn't be bothered to share it on Facebook. It is, yeah. I got like 45 more minutes of this. Call it a night. 12 more percent of this. What's 12 more percent? Oh, the tablet battery. Okay. I also have to wonder if I'm the only one who thinks Shinzo Abe is an Shinzo Abe. Yeah. It might be Aba or Aba or something like that. But it's ABE, so I say Abe because, Abe Lincoln. But Shinzo is also a pretty cool name. Yeah, I'm actually not sure how to pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced three different ways. I've heard Abe. I think it's Abe or something. I think it's Abe is the that's probably the correct one. I think the Abe. Yeah, so this is where I think I needed the 3D model for. So I'm going to go ahead really quickly and Doesn't quit my and hold on. I'm wondering if I have it in a different instance of paint.net that I can pull up that 3D image of just her. It's probably in my documents. That's probably where it's at. Hold on. I need to see the shading on her back. That's what I'm searching for here. Where? Not in my documents, so okay. I need to keep better track of my reference files. I just kind of throw them all over the place, and as a result, I never know where they are when I need, which is really bad in the live stream. I'm gonna go ahead and open up Blender, and I'll worry about that when Blender opens. Go back to the. This is Blender if you're curious at all. I'm using version 2.79. I think there's a later version that came out more recently, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Okay, and I doubt that it's. Oh, no! Recover last session. No, I clicked the wrong button. Oh no. Recover last. Oh, I didn't lose it. Okay, recover last session. Cannot read. Which file? I lost it. Crap. Okay. For autosave? This might be it. Let's see. Fingers crossed. You know what? I can probably. I don't have to re-render it though. That's kind of what I'm. Autosave. All right. Nothing here. Okay. Well, actually, no. It's all in the same file. I can just yeah. Recent was. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I have to. The problem is I have to re-render everything. So I have to. I can turn off the characters and their bones and stuff here. So I can make them disappear, and then if I render that image, I'm going to run over here now. That's going to take a while for that to do its thing. So I'll show you how I'm not going to sit here for the whole thing and let it render, but now we can render this, and yeah. So now it's going to show Necron 99 or Peace and Eleanor only. And so you can see in here too, I'll go ahead and slide this over. You can kind of see what I've done. So I have my light sources. So this is a light source back here. So I have a little bit of side light coming on. I have a backlight up above them. I have this primary light up here as well. So these are the three lights that I'm using for this. So I have a light that's coming from the side and behind the characters. I have a light that's coming from behind and to this side of the characters. It's a little bit low. And I have this one that over here that's up and high. And this provides most of the general light for. Okay. There we go. It should be good now. Okay, I think we're back. Yeah. Well, I know I had to turn off the stream at some point. All right. So, oh, you're still looking at that stream though. Yeah. Well, I take that back. No, it should be this one. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I think we're live again, and that's fantastic. So yeah, we're having some connection issues here, folks. I apologize if you are watching. All right, folks, again, I apologize for the connection issues we're having here. We're blaming Comcast for this one. shouldn't be Blender that's causing that. You can see here how the rendering is coming along, and slowly but surely. Yeah. Hold on one second, folks. I'm going to decrease the frame rate. Maybe that's going to help make things run a little bit better here. I can't do that midstream. Sorry, folks. I think we're working again, though, right now. Again, folks, I apologize. This is some issues that we're having with Comcast, and yeah. What's this feed? Okay, folks, it appears we're having some problems with our feed. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night here because, yeah, this is just intolerable. I can't focus on my drawing while I keep on getting interrupted with these problems, so there's not much point in drawing on here for that. I apologize for the problems we had tonight. It's not exactly how I wanted to start the stream off, but it's what happened, and, you know, can't control it. It's out of our control, so no need to cry over spilt milk or whatever that stuff is. So anyways, folks, I want to thank you again for watching. I hope I can get a good stream here to kind of close things off for a moment, but I'm just seeing the spinning wheel, and that's probably not a good sign. Yeah, so anyways, folks, if I've been recording the entire process of this entire print. I will be showing this off as a time-lapse pixel art video here probably in the next couple of weeks, so maybe 2 or 3 weeks from now. So keep your eyes open for that. I might also try doing a live stream of me drawing the background for crap. All right. Yeah, typing it in.